Okay, now.
Now you're recording.
Okay. All right. Hey, guys, this is Luis Moreno. I'm with Simply Health, and I am with Belinda. And she is going to walk us through ACA certification. So, Belinda, let's tell these guys, why do they need to get certified? And then we're going to get into how do they get certified.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so certification. The reason that you need to be certified is, for one, compensation. You need to be certified to sell on exchange business and to be compensated for that. Then, if you are a returning agent and have sold before, then you would need to continue to certify to receive your renewals and commissions every month, every year.
So bottom line is, it's just like Medicare. You got to keep recertifying every single year. Now, here's the good thing is, I know I mentioned Medicare and Medicare certification. I look at it as, this size. ACA certification, way much smaller, easier to do than Medicare. So don't get scared that you're going to have to do such a big certification. So let's hop right into it, Belinda. I'm sharing my screen right now, and let's rock and roll. I'm going to let you take over.
Okay,
I'll be your mouse.
Okay, so if you are a first-time user, I do not have ability to change screens.
What again?
I can't move the screens.
Oh, I'll move it.
Okay.
Are you viewing it?
Yes, I am. Okay, so for a first-time agent, you're going to need to go to the portal.cms.gov, and you're going to need to set up your account, your user registration. And when you do this, you're going to have to select certain roles and certain applications. So when you're in there and you click for the very first time that you want a new user registration, the next screen that you come up with is going to ask you to pick an application. The application is going to be where you're going to go in to pull the FFM certification down. So you're going to select the MLMS application. You're going to hit next, and then you're going to go to set up your account. And this is where it's going to start asking you for your demographic information, and it'll eventually ask you to select a role. So right now you're going to go in and fill out your information. Make sure that your information matches what is on your NPN. If it does not, you will end up with an error, and it will take several weeks to get fixed.
Okay, so let me two things for some agents. So FFM, so she mentioned that's the Federal Facilitated Marketplace. Okay, healthcare.gov. Okay, so if you're wondering what that is. And then you mentioned also NPN. So I run into some agents in our world, in the PNC world, we never use NPNs. The NPN is your national producer number. And if you look at your license, I believe it's on your license. If not, you can go to NPN lookup, and then you'll type in your demographic data and you can get your NPN.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So once you do all of this, you're going to you're setting up your new account. When you go click to the next screen after you get ready for part 3, it's going to ask you to select a role. This is where you're going to select the FFM/MLMS training. That is going to be your agent broker role for the FFM, the marketplace.
Okay, so let me go back here. So they'll go to step 1 or step 2 here, the register. So this is their information as it's listed on their NPN.
Mm-hmm.
And then part 2, register your information. What is this? I guess you enter your social and your date of birth.
Correct. You're going to start entering your demographic information.
Okay. Then you'll go to the next section, which is your user ID and password.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to create that. And then part 4 is where it's going to ask you to accept a role, to add a role. And the role is your FFM marketplace broker.
Perfect. Now, this user ID and password is super important that you have this thing saved somewhere, because this is going to be your way into healthcare.gov via the back door, the agent and broker way. So super important that you have this written down. Okay, so now they add this role.
Correct. And then you're going to go to the next phase, and that's going to be completing your application or your registration. So what it's going to have you do is log out, and then you're going to log back in. And this is the screen where you're going to key in that username and password that you just created.
Okay.
Once you do that, Then you're going to go to where it will have your demographic information again. Now you're setting up basically the information to get into the training. So you've set yourself up already with the account or CMS. Now you're selected your roles. Now you're getting ready to go into the training. This piece of information right here has to match your NPN. If the name, I always tell agents, check your NPN to make sure that the name and everything is identical when you key this piece in. If not, you're going to have a problem later on in the certification that it will not validate your NPN because the names are incorrect.
And
So
my assumption here, Belinda, if it doesn't validate, you don't get paid.
Correct. You can, and it's a matter of going back and forth with the CMS help desk to get that updated, and it can take a while.
Yep. Now you're dealing with a government 1-800 number. And good luck.
And an email address. Exactly.
It's awful. It's awful. Okay. So also right here, just FYI, I would like my information displayed, but for my home state, I think this is for the big wave for the agents to get free leads.
Correct.
Super important that you elect this option.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And then shop. So I've got a lot of people asking me about shop. Give us a scoop on that, Belinda.
Texas does not have shop plans. So right now, do not worry about doing anything with shop.
Okay. So that's just the small health. What was it? What did it stand for?
You know, I don't even remember.
It was group insurance. It's supposed to be some kind of group option for small employers and nonprofits. So
correct.
Okay. So anyway, it's not available. Okay. So once they do this, we'll move on to the next step.
Correct. And now this is where you're going to get into your page. Now in between here, you're going to have, before you get to this stage, after you have just completed the previous one, you're going to have identity questions that the system will automatically assign to you. These are going to be things that will be, for instance, have you financed a car in the last 6 months with these finance companies or something along those lines? What county is your address in? Those you'll have to answer, and it's basically verifying your identity. Once you get through that piece, then it brings you to the screen you're looking at. And this is where you're going to select your training. If you are going to have two options. The first option will be a charge of roughly $125 for you to complete the training. But if you go to the second link that says CMS that's highlighted here, that is the CMS training that is done every year free. So I highly recommend you do the free one and don't pay for it. Plus it's shorter than the other one. Okay. So you're going to select on complete training, and then it's going to take you into your training dashboard.
Which is here then.
Yes.
Okay.
So right here, this is where you're going to see two different things depending on if you're a new agent or a returning agent. A new agent will have plan year, and it'll say PY 2020 new agent training. The returning agents, it'll say returning. And when you click on curriculum status, where it is right now, those boxes that you see, those are going to be for returning agents. You only have 3 or 4 modules and 2 agreements that you sign for a returning agent.
Right.
If you are a new agent, you're going to have 14 modules. 2 of those will be agreements that you sign. You're going to go through, you're going to click on each one of them, you're going to enroll, and then you're going to start taking the course. During the course, you're going to have knowledge checks, and then at the very end, you're going to have, after so many modules, you're going to have a test. These tests are not timed. You can take them as many times as needed. And then you will constantly, every time you finish a module, you will want to click back on the curriculum status. You're going to see a progress bar that's going to tell you how far along you are. And that curriculum status link will get you back to all the little boxes that you see at the top. Okay. And then once you complete everything, you're going to have 2 agreements that you're going to need to sign. And then once you complete those 2 agreements, you're going to be able to complete your certification. or I'm sorry, your certification is completed, you'll be able to print your certificate.
It'll look like this.
Correct. You will have to log out and log back in to print your certificate. Once you complete that, you are certified in the eyes of the FFM. You then will need to recommended that you go and check the CMS completion list. Normally takes about 24 to 48 hours for your NPN to show up, but you will just type your NPN right there where the arrow is, and it will pull up and list if you're certified, what plan year it's for, the date that you did it, and then you're going to see to the far right where it says NPN validated. If your NPN does not match and it does not validate, it will say no in there, and that's when you need to go to healthcare.gov, the CMS FFM training number, and work with them to get that validated.
And good luck.
Then once you're done with that, you are certified for that plan year, ready to start selling.
Okay, so agents that want to sell now in 2020, they need to complete the 2020 certification. And then I think you said August 2021 comes out?
Correct. Right now, we have been told that the certification has been darkened. It's gone dark, basically, for them loading the 2021. As of this morning, agents could still log in and do the 2020 certification.
Okay, so for you guys that are out there and are waiting, if you only intend to sell during the enrollment season, the open enrollment season, then you're good to wait. But if you want to sell now, you got to giddy up and get it done. Okay, and it's a good thing. You're in right now. We're in a time where a lot of people are getting laid off and furloughed, and so they're losing their coverage. You know,
if you do the certification now, you'll have to do the new agent 14 modules. But while it's slow and not ready to gear up for the new stuff, when you get in for the 2021 and you log back in, you'll be a returning user, so you'll have less modules to do.
Perfect. Now, Linda, and I know this is going to happen because agents are agents. What happens if they can't answer or they actually flunk their identity proofing portion?
Okay, so if you flunk your identity portion, you will be given a number that you will need to contact. And I believe it is Equifax, I believe is who it is. You will need to reach out to them, and they will actually ask you certain questions and help get that identity verified.
Okay.
So that is your only option if you do not validate.
So in other words, you and I cannot help them.
Correct. We cannot help them. There's nothing that the help desk can do or that we can do.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you got to get that identity proofing done before you can get to your courses. So, but usually I find the questions pretty easy. You know, I mean, it's been years, but you know, you should know what county you live in. Got to help you if you don't have that figured out.
Exactly.
Me and Melinda can't. Okay. Awesome. So I think we're good on that one.
Okay.
So any tips on the test? Are there screens that they should be printing out or screenshotting?
You're going to come up to several of the different screens. In there, I would say one of the most important that if you can take a screenshot of it would be the poverty chart that they will be using for 2021. We will have it on the website. We'll have it access to it that can be sent to you if you don't capture it or if you forget to print screen it. But that would probably be one of the most important slides if you wanted to keep a copy of anything, would be that poverty chart.
Great. Well, there you go, guys. Pretty easy. You got to get your training done. This website, you got to plug it in. I would tell you, I kept checking it because I write a lot of business, and you know, it's substantial. And for some little technical screw up, I want to make sure that I'm certified for that year. So make sure that you're double checking and making sure that you are green to go and ready to sell, because they'll let agents sell. You know, I've noticed that, but you know, they don't have to pay you if you're not certified. So not a good thing.
Correct. And the carriers will not ask for your certificate. They will only go by what this website shows.
Perfect. Well, great, guys. So I hope this helps. Any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. You'll have my cell number. It's a 210-639-0738. Shoot me an email at luis@txagency.net. And Belinda, thank you for your time. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
You're always very helpful.
No problem. Let me
I
know
like
if you
having
need me
you.
again.
You like having you in my corner, girl. Thank you so much. All right.
You're very welcome.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.